Yo, it's Thomas Anthony from FinishBetterMusic.com, and today I'm going to show you the most popular slap house bassline rhythms and why they work so well. I've also linked down below a free download of the bassline rhythms MIDI along with a free slap house sample pack. You can find that in the description below. Okay, let's get into this track, baby. So the song that you just heard on the little intro was a song that I made with my former mentoring students, 2 Crimes, and I'll just play a little bit of snippet of what the bass looks like. Now, if you start to analyze slap house bass lines, you'll see that there is a very simple progression happening usually in most of the songs, and they all have very similar rhythmic bass line. So I've recreated a couple different bass lines here, and like I said, these are the 2 rhythms that are the most popular that I've seen in so many slap house songs, and you can go and download them. Like, I have them included in our free sample pack along with like all the sounds we used in the whole song. So there's kicks, there's snare fills, open hats, and a bunch of bass shots. So there's a free download of the MIDI and the sample pack in the description of this video. But why this works so well is because most slap house songs are very they're very progression-y based. So they have like a nice chords, they have nice melodies, they have nice vocals, and they also have a nice bassline progression. And now in this case, in the song that we made, the bassline progression was just a simple C, D, E, G. So I'll play it for you. Oops. Now, if you look at the actual notes, it's just like hitting on the 1 and then on the 2 and then the offbeat. So though, without this note right here, this would seem really, really bland. Like if I played it, sounds kind of bland. It's this little note in here that is like the quarter note step that really brings this stuff to life. Now you can go in and add swing to this and just kind of move some of the notes around. That's kind of how you get a even more unique sound, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But just for the basics, this is the kind of process that you want to set out, is to put this little jump step right before one of the main notes here. Now, I've included here, so I made this MIDI file with this, so it just starts in F, so that you can literally take this and put whatever like progression you want to have in here. So we can go like, and you can make your own progression with this. So that's why I like to keep these in just one straight line. And another thing, I actually just added this thing to our music mentoring program because we have a big focus on songwriting and creating badass tunes. And I know that creating bass lines, melodies, chords is difficult for students. So what I've done is I've literally analyzed hundreds of songs, and I've made MIDI files. So I've the top 20 bassline progressions that students can just grab and drag into their songs, just because it's a great place to start. I've also done the same thing with the chord rhythm. So I've like analyzed and broken down each of the chords that and the rhythmic notes that go into a chord, along with like all the chord progression scales, which is pretty crazy. So I have like all the individual chords from each of the scales, just so that you can literally map everything out really easily. Like if I wanted to make a chord progression, I could just grab this chord, this chord, this chord, and just kind of make the chord progressions by using the numbers. We teach a lot about that in the mentor program, but I also have popular lead progressions too, because I know making melodies is hard. But as long as you have the basic rhythm of the melody, which we teach in the program, it's a lot easier to make things happen. So that's why I wanted to just include these ones for free download for you guys. Now, the other one here that we have here is, again, you can use the same principles with this. If we look here, we can see that little jump step happening, but now we're placing it over here and here and here. So now I'm just spreading that out throughout the rhythm, and basically it's a combination between like half steps, so on the offbeat, or on this like little quarter note step. So like I did before, you can literally just grab this and change the rhythmic pattern or the note melody, the melody. And you can create your own progression. And these are just like the two that I've analyzed and seen that they've been used over and over and over again in slap house songs. So you can just take this and then also just like varying up your own sound. So maybe you didn't want to have this one right there, or maybe you wanted to have this there. Or maybe you wanted to make this a half note and take some of these notes out. The world is really your oyster of what you can do once you have this nice starting spot. So like I was saying before and in the last video, I broke down the different layers of the bass line that I have going on here. So go check out that video if you haven't seen it. It has the different layers and how I process them all. But if you'd like to like understand and learn exactly how I mix this whole song, I actually set up a free mixing and mastering bootcamp. So we go through from start to finish using only stock plugins, how to mix and master your song. So that means we talk about how, when, and where to use the right plugins and effects, why developing a mixing plan is super duper critical, the power of gain staging, how to process individual individual sounds and their groups. So we go through and process each individual channel by itself first, and then we go through and process the groups together, and then you can also download the processing chains for each of the groups. So we have ones for leads, vocals, bass, drums, and harmonies and effects. And you can just grab those. They're free download. They're for Ableton racks. You can free download them, put them into your songs. And we also teach you how to get a tight and controlled low end. And then finally, once we download the whole mixing, we go into the mastering. And again, you can download our mastering chain, but we show you exactly how to use it and why we're using each of the plugins. We wanted you to do this because in our mentoring program, we teach more advanced techniques that get a really thick and fat sound, but people still want to learn how to mix just using stock plugins, because I know that was a big problem for me when I was starting. I didn't have money to spend on crazy plugins, so we wanted to help you out and do that. Now, it doesn't really matter whether you make trap, house, drum and bass, or some weird subgenre. All the principles and techniques can be applied using stock plugins from any DAW. So all these principles can be used whether you make drum and bass, dubstep, whatever. Mixing principles are all the same, and they can be used in any DAW. Just use the stock plugins in your DAW. So I hope you got something from this. If you'd like us to help you one-on-one with your music to take you from start to finish of creating, mixing, and mastering a song that's badass, that you're proud of, that sounds professional, clear, powerful, and balanced on every system, go over and fill out an application form. The mentoring program will open up again soon. This gives us all the information we need so that we can set up a free one-on-one call with you. And on that call, during the free strategy session, we'll provide you with personalized feedback on one of your songs, analyze your production methods, and define any areas that need improvement. We will answer any of your questions about music production or the mentoring program, and we'll provide you with a custom blueprint to help you finish better music. Whether you join the program or not, you will get a custom blueprint for what to do next with your music. We don't let everybody into the program, and that's why we have these one-on-one calls, but we do want to provide you with some value so that you do know what the next steps you need to take are. Okay, hope you got some from this. If you feel like it, go over, follow me on Instagram. I just released this song that came out, the Around the World song, the Slap House one. I also have a Tech House song coming out this month, which is going to be huge. Super stoked about that. Played it at a bunch of festivals this summer, and it went off. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, follow me at It's Tom Anthony. Okay, till next time, peace.
Hi, my name is Carlo Papano. I finished the Finish Better Music program in the middle of COVID. I think it was November 2020. I came in taking a really long time to work on a track, and that was the main thing I wanted to focus on. I had released music that I was proud of, but I didn't want to spend a month just to be able to get an idea out. The main takeaways I had was setting in proper template, proper workflow, and way to go about things, and that's what I really learned from the program. It's a good section on mixing, good songwriting. I think most of all what I appreciated is I was learning from someone who's released music that I enjoy. Someone that has a large following on Spotify and really is kind of proven what they're worth. Like, I've taken every course under the sun, but one thing you never realize is that on almost all of them, like, what music has this person released? And I think that's the main difference. Is it's someone who has a proven record of success at being able to support themselves making music, and it's a really enjoyable program. The instructor Thomas has a great personality. Ended up becoming friends with him and still stay in contact with him. It's I've taken a lot of courses, but it's one I didn't regret spending my money on.